Okay, so we are good now. All right. So now the talk that I have now is about using pastels as a way of feeling good about yourself, feeling good in your zone. And most of you probably know that I am big on arts and crafts. That is something that makes me feel like really good. So that's what I practice. I don't know if you were there at the last year's session. So Jackie had shown some pastel work. So this is similar to that. Actually, it is. So I took the certification and all that stuff. So I will just share my screen with you. Yeah. So everyone can see my screen? Everyone can?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So what that is so this is really, hold on, I need to see it as well on my end, and I cannot see it. Okay, anyways, so these are really the 8 pillars of wellness that I usually talk about. Hold on. Yeah, that's physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, environmental, social, financial, and there is one more which I am not able to see, and that's intellectual. So those are the 8 pillars, and the components are written over there. Little, what is involved. I won't go over them because I'll be going over them on Friday in a bit more detail, but this is where I'm really coming from as to what we can do so that we feel good in totality, in full. That is a discussion we've been having all morning. Like, feeling good is not just about eating well, getting the sleep and being physically active. It's a lot more than that. So to show you what I will be doing, what you will be seeing is you'll be seeing 2 projects. Okay, they're very simple projects. So one of them is this. Right, it's a very simple one. It's pastels. It's just black. This is just a single color. And the second one is this one. So this one has some more colors in it. The techniques, you see that I won't give it away, but the techniques are slightly different in the 2. And so it is a recorded video. It's just for me so that I'm not running around too much because I'm doing all this alone. So that is what it is, all about it is. Okay, so I will play the recording and wait, I did something wrong. And why can't I? Okay, something's not right here. Pastels is really all about working with pastels and your fingertips. So it's a technique is from a Japanese technique called as Pastel Nagomi, and I will talk to you more about as we move along in the demonstration. So
we cannot see the video. Yeah, now we can see.
Need to do Pastel Nagomi is of course pastels. So these are pastel sticks that you can get from your local craft store, wherever you live. They're easily available. You don't need anything fancy. I happen to have 2 packs. So this is a pack here for different colors, and this is a pack here as well. So you can buy any color. Then the other thing you will need to do is paper, right? So for Pastel Nagomi, traditionally Pastel Nagomi was done on square. It's done on square. So this is 15 by 15 centimeters. Just cardstock paper, but you can do it even on rectangle ones as well. This is the one that I have. Try to get the white ones. These ones are a little old, so maybe they're looking a bit off-white, but you can do it on this one as well. You can make smaller ones. You can make like tiles, cut them into half, and you can make small tiles using the same techniques. I'll be sharing with you 2 techniques. You can use that one here. So yeah, this one. Then you need some masking tape. You will need some gel pens. So I have white and I have, this is silver. You need an X-Acto knife. Okay, and then of course you need a pencil. I like to have these micro tip pens with me as well, because they're nice to give some highlights. And the same thing is with the gel pens as well. They give a nice highlight. You need the Tombow eraser. So this is the mono Tombow eraser. So we'll be using this as well. Then this is also this.
Stop the video.
Oh dear. 1 second. I don't know what happened. Okay, hold on. Let me. The same thing is with the gel pens. Okay. Well, they give a nice highlight. You need the Tombow eraser. So this is the mono Tombow eraser. So we'll be using this as well. Then this is also the mini, the fine tip Tombow eraser over here that we'll be using as well for doing our pastels. And then another thing that you need is the kneadable eraser. So with the kneadable eraser, the reason why it's called kneadable is because you can knead it to, you see the color over here, it's been used really nicely, and I can knead it nicely and I can keep using it. Okay, and then this is a makeup brush that I got from my local pharmacy, a local drugstore. You need this, and finally you need the fixative. So this is the fixative for pastel and charcoal. So you will need this to fix the pastel powder on your sheets. If you do not fix it, then the color will just wipe off. So this is another thing that you will need to complete your projects. And yeah, and that's about it. Okay, so now to prepare your base, what I'm going to do is I have this sheet of scrap paper, and I have my square, the Pastel Nagomi paper over here. This is just any kind of cardstock that you can get. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my masking tape to put it on the to make it nice and stable on the paper. So I'm using the end. Okay, I'm using the end. So basically I'm using this as a border. So if you plan on doing, maybe you want to do a few of them together, because each project it goes by very quickly. It takes about, let's say, half an hour. So this project that we're going to be doing is going to take about half an hour to complete. So you can actually make these bases and keep them. Okay, so like this. Okay, perfect. Okay, so this is now, so now our base is ready to work on. So I also did another one. This was another an old one that I had, but I wanted to show you how to set this up. Okay, so you need, so this my base is now ready, and I can start working on it. So for this particular project, we are going to be using black. Okay, I want to make sure you are in. For this project, we'll be using black and some kind of beige color to cover the base and make the design. Make sure that your fingertips are nice and clean, otherwise you're going to stain the whole thing. You will also need the makeup brush to make sure that your surface is clean and the bristles are nice and clean. Just brush off everything so that it is nice and clean, as a clean surface to really start up with. This also helps you to pause a little bit, slow down, maybe take a few deep breaths, and then you want to start setting up your project on a really calm and on a very soft note. Make sure you dust your brush as well so that you take away anything that is stuck in the brush bristles. So now I'm going to start working on the project and just follow along. Here I'm going to take my X-Acto knife, and we are going to be doing a base of that beige color. So what I'll do is I'm going to do a little bit of scraping of the beige color all over that frame that we just made. So just be gentle, don't hurt yourself. Make sure there's no children around who can get hurt. Scrape enough so that you are able to spread it nicely in that frame that you have created. You want to put some music in the back end, go ahead and do that. Now the next step is use your fingertips to spread that powder, the pastel powder, in that entire base. You can see that. Just be gentle, be slow, use your fingertips. If you want to use one fingertip, that's fine. If you want to use both, you can use both. It's entirely up to you how you want to do it. But just be gentle, be slow. And this is where, again, like I said before, the pausing piece comes into picture. So I'm trying to put in, blend in actually, or rub in all the entire powder into the paper as much as I can. So make sure that you cover all the edges, the corners, because here you're giving it a really nice base, because we are going to be putting black on top of this, and then we're going to be doing some erasing. So what that will do is the beige color will show through the black that we are going to be removing on the top, and it looks really pretty. So now most of the pastel has been, it has really been rubbed into the paper, and then you can dust off the extra. You take your brush and you can brush off the extra as well. It always helps to have a clean surface to work on. Now the base is ready, and now we're going to start with the black. So with the black, what we will do is we want to have a center which is like black, like a dark black in the center. If you want to draw with a pencil, you can, but it is not really necessary. Try to be as organic and as free as possible, because that is really freeing in your mind as well. And that is the beauty of Pastel Nagomi, that there are no there's no restrictions as such. You can take the color anywhere that you want. And now I'm starting off with the blending. We're putting the black on the corners, so I'm going to be moving from the sides to the inside. So I'm just with the X-Acto knife, I'm putting some black on the corners and using my fingertips to start doing the blending on the corners. It doesn't have to be even. You can do different shades, do the entire borders. Make sure you cover all the sides. So this corner is a little bit darker. Spread the color, spread the pastel powder, and really have fun with it. Music always helps in the back end. So yeah, so you can see that there's different shades, and it is kind of taking a circle kind of you know, shape. And then now this is going to be the second circle, which is the inside. Again, I'm scraping off with my X-Acto knife a little bit of the black all around. So being very gentle. And you can have, you know, like I said, different shades. You can have the darkest on the outside and go in lighter, or whatever is your frame of mind at that time, you can go with that. So now the blending again, we'll start the blending again. Now the black color which we had done on the corners must blend with what the color that we're adding now, because it's all a question of blending. You know, that's something to do with life as well, that you've got to really blend in with whatever is happening. Otherwise it is disjointed. So that's what I'm going to be trying to do over here. I'm using either one fingertip or both my fingertips, really getting in there and blending the two layers. So you clean off the excess. You can dust it off, and then you can also clean it up with your brush. So that the blending, you can see, is not as clean, so I'm trying to go in and do it again. Make sure you clean your hands in between. You can keep a wet baby wipe if you want, and that's another option too. So then the blending is getting a little bit better there. Okay, now this is now the inner circle that we have. And there's the blending piece again, using your fingertips. And that is what Pastel Nagomi is all about. Using your fingertips, feel the texture of the pastels, slowing down, and that is really helpful. So I'm trying to get the center as dark as possible because I have the light on the corners. Again, I'm making sure that the blending is, you know, proper everywhere. Now the center over there is white. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just rub in the black because I want it dark. So I'm, you know, rubbing it in nicely. And then we will do the blending with our fingertips. In a circular motion. Then get in the fingertips and blend the center circle as well. So you can see gradually we are literally building up the base in different shades of just one color. And if you want to use different colors, you're more than welcome to use different colors as well. It does not have to be one color. You can use 2 colors, 3 colors. I'm going to say stick to no more than 3, and that is probably better, especially when you're starting to do it. So now as I move my fingertips in the circle, the center pieces, the center block, the black is getting dark, is bigger, and that is completely okay too. And then now I'm going to clean up all of it, making it ready for the next step. It almost looks like a galaxy there. Okay, so now we've got our base ready over here. As you can see, this center is dark and there's different shades that you can see. Now the next step that we are going to be doing is we are going to be using our stencil to create the design. So I am choosing probably this one, or let's see, which one should I choose? So when I was choosing this, I was kind of confused, like which one should I be doing? Well, let's do this one. This one seems to be a good one. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just place my stencil here. Okay, and just eyeball the middle, wherever the middle is. Okay, and hold the stencil in place. Okay, and then the next step is, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my eraser. This is the mini one. Okay, and I'm going to start erasing some areas in between. You can even use the kneadable eraser as well. This one also works really well. So I'm going to show you how to use like both. So to use the kneadable eraser, just go ahead and just, because it was used before, so I'm going to go ahead and make like a point, like something like this. Okay, I'm going to hold my thing here, and I'm going to use a circular motion like this way to kind of remove parts of the design in the stencil areas. That's all I'm doing. Okay, and she will see the design later on. This is one option. So with the kneadable eraser, once you can see that it gets dirty, and you can go ahead and keep kneading it to continue to use it. It does get dirty over time, but this is a really good way of using it. So for this one, let's now try this one over here. So this is a little easier to use. So I'm going to go ahead and start erasing some areas. So you know the the beige color that we had done at the bottom there, so that will begin to show up a little bit. So this is going to take a little bit of time for you, and again, that is where the pausing piece comes into picture. Pause, pause, pause. A skill that we all need to know, we all need to learn. And you can keep cleaning it up with your, and then we go up here. So over here, if you can see, so I'm just following the stencil. That's all I'm doing. You do not have to remove all of it, just a little part to give a nice shade to it. Got moved, so you've got to be careful that you are not moving it like too much, otherwise the design gets a little bit wonky.
So why do we need to remove? Why do we don't paint over with another chalk?
Sorry, Gina, what did you say?
Why do we need to remove? Why
There's
we
some
don't paint
areas
with
which are
another
smaller
color
areas, you can
over?
use the
No,
mini,
it's just a technique.
fine
That's all
tip.
it is. Mm.
It's like a layering technique. I think it's done. So you remove it and there you are. Okay. So there you can see that this is the design coming through like that. So it's looking nice and pretty. And the other thing now, what I want to do is, now this is all blank areas over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose any of these stencils to probably create some designs on the corner as well. Yeah, something like this. And I'll show that to you in a minute. So this is a design. This is again a stencil design. You can even do things. You can even use this to create your own designs if you want. And I'll show that to you. But if you want to create a corner, like this particular stencil has like a triangle corner. So what you can do is you can place it on the corner like this, and go ahead and create and start erasing on this over here. You can do that. Okay, and that will create a really nice design. That's one option. The other option is you can even, like I said, you can use your we are going to create some kind of bubbles. Okay, so I'm going to just make this like a point here, and I'm just going to go like this. So you can take off some color like this as well. If you feel like I'm not liking it at all, so I can go ahead and take my black color back again, and mistakes will happen, which is fine. Something I did not realize will happen. So I'm just going to put some, I'm glad it happened so that you know what to do. Okay, and I'm just going to go back here again and start blending it. So there, it's gotten fixed. Okay. So now if you feel that these need to be a little bit more refined, you can go ahead and use your fine tip and make it a little bit more fine over there if you want. There we go. So this is your design. It's a very simple one. And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to remove the tape over here. Make sure you remove it slowly. So you can make multiples of these. So this one really took about 15 minutes to create. It doesn't take that long, and it is really calm and it's very, very relaxing. So you can make multiples of these. So if you notice over here, I did not put the tape properly, so it is a little bit crooked, but that's okay. Life is not perfect, so I'm not too worried about it. So this I made with just black, and I'll show you another design as well, in which we will use different colors, and we'll use a slightly different technique. So this is one technique over here, and then what I'm going to do is we'll spray it with an acrylic spray, just to set a setting spray, and we'll do that towards the end, so that the pastel, it sets up really really nicely. Okay. Now for the second project, we are going to be using 3 different colors to create the effect that we want. The principle is pretty much the same. We are going to go in circles with different colors. Using green, I'm using an orange and a sort of a mustardy color. They're all earthy colors, where the center is going to be orange, and then there's going to be a little bit of mustard and the green on the outside. So let us start here. And it's again the same thing. You are scraping it with an X-Acto knife and then using your fingertips to really blend colors all along. And so we will making sure that we are cleaning the surface, and the surface is clean. So I'm going to start with the orange in the middle, and then we are going to go outside. So what I decided over here was to just give me a little bit of a frame. So I just went ahead and drew a circle, just so that and this is also just to teach you, maybe if I was doing it on my own, I might not even draw the circle. I might just start off just without a circle. So this is just a very light circle. It's going to get covered anyways, so it won't show, so not to worry about it. So I'm going to do the scraping again with my little bit of the orange. Slowly again, take a deep breath, put in some music at the background, and really enjoy the process, and go ahead and start enjoying the blending and using the pastels with your fingertips, going in circles slowly. Put on some music in the background, take some deep breaths, and really, like I said, enjoy the process. So it's, yeah. And now it is the mustard color that we will do on the outside of the orange. Just in circular motion, yeah. And then make sure that you're blending. So bring in a little bit of the orange into the mustard. It gives a really pretty shade. As you can see, looks nice and bright. Mixing the colors, blending them nicely. And now it's time for the green color. So the green will be on the corners and on the sides as well. Now, because green is a little bit darker color, I am not putting too much, because I don't want it to get like too dark. So just maybe put like less is more. So just put a little bit and see if you like the shade. If you don't like the shade, then you can always add more to it. But once you make it very dark, it gets a little tricky to remove the extra color. So here I'm blending the mustard with the green. I'm getting in the green and into the little bit of the mustard, giving it a really nice shading effect. You can already see how beautiful it's looking with the different shades, and you know, color is nice, color is pretty. And making sure that everything is nicely blended, and of course you are going to dust off the extra. So you will notice that when you use your brush to remove the color, it does get lighter. Not to worry about it, because when we do the spray after, the colors really brighten up way more than what you see. And I'm not too happy with the blending, so I'm just going to do a little bit more blending over here. So the center is nice and dark, and I want to make it a little bit more darker, so I'm taking my red pastel and putting it a little bit, and then I'm going to make it a little bit more darker in the middle and make it a little bit bigger also. So there's ways that you can change the design if you don't like it. You know, the more practice you do, the better it will get. So here I felt that the mustard is also a little bit less bright as I would like it to be. So I'm going to add some more, adding some more and blending it again. So you can see it almost looks like a ball of fire, like, you know, like the sun. So yeah. Now the next step is we're going to be using the micro tip, the eraser, to make some dots in the middle, like just in the middle section, in the orange section. So what we are really doing is we are removing a little bit of the pastel over there. So there is no particular rhyme or reason, no particular pattern. Just you can make some big ones, some small ones, and do it the way you like. Now we're going to start drawing the petals all around the red area. Again, you can choose not to draw, but it's kind of nice to kind of, you know, get a rough feel as to where the petals will be really drawn. So you can see that I'm just drawing them, you know, whatever is coming to my mind. Just getting a shape of a petal is kind of nice, and I'm extending the end of the petal into a curve. So I'm going to go all around and draw the petals. Now don't worry about the shape. Of course they should look like petals, but you don't really have to worry about them being perfect. Nature is not perfect. When you see flowers and leaves, they are you know, of different sizes, different shapes and different curves. So again, like what I've been saying, just have fun with it, relax, calm, put music in the background and really enjoy the process. So I'm going all around the orange section. I'm trying to stay in the orange and the mustard section. If you want, you can make the petals even bigger. You can extend it into the green section area as well. It's up to you, however you want to make it. I just decided to make it just smaller right in the middle. So I'm going to make the leaves like the sunflower type of shape of leaves with a curve all around. And you don't have to worry about the pencil marks, because once we start, you know, taking off the color with our eraser in the next step, with the Tombow eraser, the lines will all disappear, so nothing will show. So I'm reaching towards the end now. This is one round is done, and now I'm going to start doing the smaller leaves, which will be between two big leaves, and these will be a little bit smaller. And again, you can take them as high as you want, give a nice curve like what you had done before. And some leaves are going to be smaller, some leaves are going to be bigger. Everything's good, all is good. It's as it is looking really pretty. And there we are. So we have the leaves drawn, and now we will start using the Tombow eraser to start designing or start shaping the leaves. So I'm just making sure that it is nice and clean, removing the extra, you know, the black piece, the dirt at the tip. So now the next step is really going over those petals, and you can see I'm just literally drawing over them and removing some of the pastel, giving it a nice shape. And when you're doing this step, if you feel that you want to make a change in the shape, you're more than welcome to do so. And that is a neat part of this, that you can change your design even after. You can remove the dirty tip. Use your X-Acto knife and you can cut off the dirty part over there. Now the design here, you can see it's coming through really nicely. There are some pencil marks, but those can be covered up again with using your eraser. So now we are kind of finishing up and giving it the last few finishes. We'll do some shading as well with our gel pen. So there I'm putting in some shades now all through the petals. Now the next step is to do a bit of more shading and make it a little bit brighter using the white gel pen. So when you use the white gel pen, the piece becomes suddenly very alive. So you can see that it's really brightening up the entire piece. You just need very little subtle areas to make it look nice and bright. And if you want to use the silver gel pen, you can use that too if you like. For this one, I'm using just the white one, just brightening it up a little bit. So I'm trying not to put my hand on the shaded areas. So you can see that the painting is coming alive, the piece, it's just looking so much brighter with the white. White always brightens up anything. Just a subtle strokes here and there makes it really nice and bright. And there we go, there you have it. The painting is now almost ready. So I noticed some pencil marks and then I'm just going over those areas to make it a little bit more more brighter again with the and covering the pencil marks, and also making sure that the flower petals are nice and clear. So what I saw was it wasn't very clear, so going over them one more time. Don't worry about the color. The base color will be still there, but it will just become more bright when you do this step. Now we're going to start removing the tape on the sides, because this this sheet I had prepared a while back. It's a little tricky and a little hard to remove the tape, but it will come out. Just be very careful and be very gentle when you're removing the tape from all the four sides. The borders are coming out nice and clear, so you can see the paper is dripping on the corner a little bit, and that's okay. That can sometimes happen. And there we have our piece ready. Looking really nice and pretty, and it's very relaxing to even look at it. With the colors are nice and pastel-y, and it feels really nice when you see a project completed. And this was the black one that we had done before. So these two are done. So this is a little bit of an introduction to Pastel Nagomi, and I would really ask you to try it. So what I like to also do is to put my name and the year and the date. Sometimes I will even give it maybe a title or a name. I'm not too good at that, but I will put in the year and the and the month that I made that. So it sort of becomes a portfolio, and I do have a portfolio. And what that also helps me to do is that sometimes when you're just sitting, you want to look at something that you have achieved, and I just skim through the portfolio. It's like an album, and it gives me a really nice feeling. So just making the final touches, dusting off the all the any dust on the design, cleaning it up. Yeah, so there we have two different designs, different colors, slightly different techniques, and simple stuff, very relaxing. Yeah, and now the only step that is left is to put use the acrylic setting spray so that the color does not come off. And here is my portfolio. I like to put my things in it. So that's the spray the final fixative that I will be using to put it on both the designs. You get it at any craft store. It's nothing special, and make sure you go in the garage and do it and set. Yeah, you can give one coat, or you can even give 2 coats if you want. So I have gone ahead and I have sprayed them with this fixative that I was showing you before. So you can see that the colors have brightened up, and when with my hand, if I take my hand over this, there is no color that is coming out, right? It's just very little, but you can even give it 2 coats. I've given it 1 coat, but the colors have brightened up and it looks really really pretty. So here, this is the colored one, and this is the black and white one. Okay, so you can have fun with it. Another option that you can do is you can make tiles. You can make small tiles, and you can frame them, put them in a frame, or really do whatever you want with it. So this is just some examples of what you can do. Okay, I just thought I'll show you some samples of some other types of work that I've done. Like this one is, I gave this a name. It's emotion, happiness versus unhappiness. So you can see this is happiness, where it's a pink and red, and this is like unhappiness, where there's a shade of gray over here as well. This is an example here. This is an example of birth creation that I did. These are sprouts that are coming up from just a seed, and then it is like growing. This is another technique. This is another one here. This is some mandalas. I love mandalas. So this is mandalas. So these stars that you see are done with some stencils, but primarily the work is pretty close to doing different shading. And then I used the micron pens, like this one over here, to highlight these areas a little bit, to give it a bit more structure and a more oomph to it. Over here, this one I used like a Sharpie to make this design, and then this is also where its a base has been given, and then the design has then been erased to give this kind of an effect. This is another mandala that I have here. This is another example. Here it says, so I gave this one a name as my favorite song. So you can have the musical note, and then there's a heart over here. This effect that you see on the side is done with a comb. This is a completely different technique, and I can, there's lots of techniques you can do with Pastel Nagomi. This is another one here, and this is a cone flower over here. So go ahead and practice, and let me know how you're doing.